like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. I shouldn't be recording this video right now. I still have corona. It's getting better. It's getting better. I mean, like, I feel vaguely normal today. Man, I did a live stream. I'm recording this on Thursday. I did a live stream on Tuesday. I nearly died during it. Like, I was speeding out and spinning out. I had no idea where I was. I mean, I was sitting in my chair here, but my head was very clearly on the Starship Enterprise, and it normally is there, but they're much more ethereal level. Anyway, yesterday I took on Wednesday, was it the 14th, right? I forced myself to take the day off, right? And I hate doing it. I really genuinely hate doing it. I feel kind of useless doing that. So, because I'm bonkers. Don't listen to me, right? Don't follow my example. And now actually I feel quite a bit better. The moral of the story is, if you get COVID, right? If you get corona and you're feeling fatigued, which I very much was, take a break. Put your feet up. That'll be good for you. Sadly, when I put my feet up, the new issue of Doctor Who magazine wasn't out. It just came out today, and the time is here. The time is now. What time is it? It's time for the to start talking about Jodah's final episode. I would say adventure, but they're not very adventurous, really, are they? They're more like horrendous, horrendous voyages into misery. Finally, we're at the end of her turgid tenure. Listen, my personal hope is this, that it's completely, unequivocally erased from reality, right, Ross? I really retcons it away. What I think is more likely to happen is that it's going to be made that if you hated it, like I did, you can say, oh, that wasn't real, and it didn't really happen, and if you liked it, like lots of the media pretend they do. It's funny, they do. I'm like, really, we know you're lying now about everything media, right? We know that. It's like, but I don't think they do, right? That you can say, oh yeah, it's a probably a bit of Doctor Who. I doubt we're going to get many references to this era moving forward, unless the era's, Rusty Davis doesn't really understand how much it's hated, and I think he understands how much it's hated. I really do. I think he probably hated it, and I understand on every public pronouncement is, oh, isn't it marvelous? Oh, fantastic! Jodah's final time. Oh, isn't it marvelous? I know he's saying that. It's called lying, right? It's amazing, right? There's a movie. It wasn't a great movie. It was okay, by Ricky Gervais, called The Invention of Lying, right? We're in a world where nobody had lied before. And he has the idea to lie. They're like, oh my God, that's incredible, right? It feels like the media kind of lives in that world, right? They're like, they don't know that we know you're lying. No, you're lying, right? We know you're lying, right? When you say it's the bestest ever, it's lying. Anyway, I digress. One of the things they said was the bestest ever was Sacha Dhawan. Sacha Dhawan was the bestest master ever. Oh, so good, so stunning, so brave, right? Now, I think it's because he was slightly less white, right? I think he's not what I would call dark-skinned. He doesn't look a million miles away from me, right? It certainly looks lighter than a bunch of my neighbors. I live here in Israel, right? So he doesn't look, but I think dark enough, right? It's all, I guess, if you could define if you're a boy or a girl, regardless of having a pee or a vagina, you can define your. I know, but the media said he was stunning and brave and the bestest ever. Now let's be fair to Sacha. He's a good actor. I like him in most things he's in. I thought it was great as Boris Hussein. I actually thought he was pretty good in Dracula as well. That Voyage of the Demeter, which I thought was great, right? The second episode. I can't believe there was never a Hammer movie based on that. That was really a solid episode. Generally speaking, I think he's a clever actor. I think he's a sensitive actor. I think his portrayal of the Master is diabolical, right? It's absolutely diabolical. I liked he's excited about it, right? I liked he was very excited about the role. Because he also buys into the nonsense. Oh, look at me! My skin color's slightly less white! This is breaking glass ceilings. I mean, it's so stupid. Oh. You know what's really fun? Get somebody who believes in this nonsense. Get somebody who believes that England is a racist country, and endemically, or America is an endemically racist country, and say, so these racists, what is it they think? They don't like black people. No, they don't like black people. So why? Because they don't like black, because they're bad. They won't have an answer because they never, ever, ever interacted with any form of racism in their entire freaking life, right? Anyway, his performance was stunning and brave, according to again, I thought it was dire, right? I thought it was absolutely dire. So I'm watching his performance, and it's kind of like, do you remember there was an episode of South Park once where they open a Walmart and everybody gets taken over by Walmart. You know, you keep looking, I must go to Walmart, right? And at the center of Walmart, they find the evil genius. I think he has a moustache or something on, or a beard, and he takes off his false moustache and says, "No, you can see me as I really am." That's how it like. That's just like his master, right? Go and find the episode of South Park. They're all free online. It's just like his master, which is like a jumping up and down doofus. It's never. I mean, look, Master's always been a bit. Not as good as he thought he was, right? That's kind of one of the fun things of, especially the John Sim master, right? Who is the least efficient of all masters. But this, I get to understand how they, like, I see no through line whatsoever with the other people who played the master. Whereas Missy, I really liked. I really genuinely liked her. I thought she even kind of visually had a kind of look about her like Ainley. But she was kind of, she matched Capaldi in that she seemed to be a amalgam of all the masters mashed together to make a new take on the character that seemed very authentic, right? I think that's probably the same idea that Capaldi had playing the Doctor. Like, he very much felt he was the same Doctor as all the other Doctors, especially. I mean, that performance is crazy. You have micro expressions of a Troughton here, Tom Baker there. Absolutely fantastic, right? So, yeah, Master is always a mirror for whoever the Doctor is, right? So, you know, I mean, it was initially introduced John Pertwee versus Roger Delgado. And Pertwee was a very James Bondian suave Doctor, right? I know it doesn't seem it now, looking in 2022 with the bell bottoms and the flares and Joe Grant saying groovy Doctor, groovy. It all seems very dated. It was very, very hip at the time, right? They were very, very James Bondian at the time, and the Master really worked as like a dark reflection of the Doctor with the same kind of like little bit of a twinkle, right? They all like to sit down and read the Time Machine, right? Maybe that's a required reading on Gallifrey. Yeah, and then you had the Robert Holmes brought him back as like this. Really, it couldn't be on TV now. It's like really terrifying, disgusting Master, like desiccating Master. But that gothic horror was reflected in Tom Baker's Doctor Who, and then we got I would say a more curated Master, reflecting Peter Davis's more curated Doctor, and then basically he had the job, and John Nathan Turner was like, yeah, we'll stick with that from now on. Then we got John Sim. I think he was just like the nom du jour at the time. He's not my favourite Master, right? One of my favourite Masters, I guess, is the Derek Jacobi one, giving new life on Big Finish. Anyway, so we got Sacha Dhawan's Master. Nothing like any Master, right? Nothing like anyone we've ever seen, right? The Eric Roberts, Eric Roberts had that like suaveness about him. Sacha Dhawan just seems to be like a clueless loser. But there you go. The Doctor has to be, the Master always has to be a reflection of the Doctor. Jodie Whittaker's Doctor is a clueless loser. That's how, I'm not writing it that way. It's not my fault that she's a clueless loser, but she is a clueless loser. How much of a loser is she? She couldn't even say something nice to Graham when he was worried about his cancer coming back. I mean, really? So, when I watched Whittaker's performance, I go, how? Like, I want to know the thought process that led you to think this was the way you should go, right? I want to see that. I want to. I'm always fascinated. I think I'm slightly more fascinated with Sacha Dhawan because he's a real actor who can act. So, fortunately, as part of the pre-publicity for the power of the Doctor, we got this day. This is again, this is where the pre-publicity starts, and it contains within a big interview with Sacha Dhawan going over his master. I mean, really, like I love it when they drop clues like "Beware your enemies, Doctor," and their master. Right, like, you know, I mean, again, it was from the evil villain time, right? Which was, God, it's also shit. Right? Everything Chibnall touches is awful, and it's amazing that he does it with everything, right? You would have thought, you know, sometimes he'll get it right. No. Absolutely not. Anyway, we're going to be looking at the interview. Go buy this issue of Doctor Who magazine. It's Fandabby. Oh, I don't know. I haven't even looked at it yet. I was going to say Fandabby. It could be crap. Who knows? Like, share, subscribe, and comment. All those things are very, very good. Thank you very much. I am very, very grateful for you doing that. Comment, let me know what you think. Sign up my Substack. Sign up my paid Substack. I should send some stuff. Look, dude, I couldn't move yesterday, okay? I'll send out stuff on it soon. I'm still basically getting better. I hope. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment, sign up myself, sign up and pay Substack. But you really, by the way, if you're trying to plug something, especially something you want people to pay for, don't do it with put your hand over your mouth like I did. Pay Substack, but do all that. Okay, fine. Let's see what young Sacha Dhawan has to say. Master of the Universe. So a theory going round is that this is actually O. Do you remember that a master was impersonating this character called O? Now, as I recall, he was always O, right? He spent years and years pretending to be O to surprise the Doctor, go, ha ha ha! I'm the master! I mean, again, John Sim at the end of World Enough for Time, when he turned out to be the master, that was freaking awesome, right? I didn't even see that one coming. By the way, speaking of disguises, people take off, and it reveals something else. You go ahead and watch Mission Impossible 2, right? There's a pre-title sequence where there's an older person on the plane, and he's talking to Tom Cruise, right? But if you look at it, the older person's got a moustache. It's clearly Tom Cruise. So they must have cut out some bit of a plot where he's going to whip his mask and say, "It was me all along." Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. I like a bit. Mission Impossible, me. I think Mark Gatiss is in the new one. I heard. Isn't he? Yeah, that would be cool. Honestly, I think Tom Cruise should be in charge of Hollywood. He's one of the few people who goes, "Oh, we're here to make movies to entertain people." That's a good idea. Why don't we do that? He's very, very passionate about it. Anyway, so this picture here, a rumor going around is this is actually O and not the Master. We have the story of how... Oh, come back. We have the story of how the Master... come back. Became O, right? Maybe, who knows? It seems like a boring story, so that seems like the sort of thing that Christian would tell. Fine. For Sacha Dhawan facing off against Jodie Whittaker, it's not really facing off, is it? I mean, if she's totally useless, right, and no threat whatsoever, it's not right. Oh no! I mean, I wouldn't be worried about going up against Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, and I feel bad if I scare the cat. I really do feel bad. I know, and I do that by coughing sometimes. Run away! I'm like, no, I'm just coughing, mate. It's okay. I'm not going to kill you. Was it? The final story is a huge honor. Huge. Oh man, I miss Trump. It was fun. People ask me, why was I so into Trump? Because he was funny. Honestly, it was huge. It was the hugest inauguration ever. Oh man, more fun than the Sacha Dhawan's Master. If you learned anything about the Master over the years, he's nothing like Sacha Dhawan. Okay, nothing like Sacha Dhawan's take on it. Right, that's the one thing we may have learned about the Master over the years. It's you just have to keep. It's that you just can't keep a bad man down, okay, or bad woman down, even if you catch her in a evil Mary Poppins phase. That's the beauty of the Master, says Renegade Time Lord's Sacha Dhawan, right? You can tear him down in a million shreds, and he'll always find a way of coming back, and he'll do it with charisma. Yeah, generally speaking, I agree, but I don't think your Master had any charisma. I think it was too bonkers and had too stupid a plan, right? I just didn't find it much charismatic about it. Do we know who is it? Are these unit logos of the people holding him? Let's see, opposite page right. This is the day you die, the Master tells his best friend and me in Ed and Power of the Daleks. No, below right is Power of the Doctor. Master of Australian Power of the Doctor is bought by whom? Who cares? Fine. Yeah, but again, I don't think your take had charisma with it, which is weird because you're a pretty charismatic guy. If you ever watch the Blu-rays, they have the thing called Behind the Sofa where people watch episodes of classic series. And you had Sacha Dhawan and Anjali Mohindra, who is freaking gorgeous. Oh my god. They're married apparently. And they're watching Terror of the Autons and stuff like that. And I enjoy hearing their thoughts on it. I always found like an outsider's point of view very interesting. But I don't know how he connects that to what he was. I don't know. I do not know. Last time we saw him was in 2020. It's The Timeless Children. Oh yeah, that went down well. Everybody loved The Timeless Children. No, we all hated it. It was universally panned, right? The Master was indeed being torn into a million shreds, at least, inside Gallifrey's exploding capital. Was he? Whatever. But then, in last year's The Vanquishers, that was a terrible episode too. The Doctor receives a warning from Time itself. Now, Time hates the Doctor and wants to kill her, him, whatever. But she gives a warning about the whatever's coming for. Beware the forces mass against you and their master. God, it was so good. At which point it became obvious to everyone that a hero's oldest frenemy someone managed to cheat death again. Yeah, we know. And look, Chris Chibnall, what can I say? You were given the same I guess because you saw Planet of Fire, you're like, I can get away with any shit, really. 13th Doctor in this epic, and we do mean epic, BBC Centenary. It's an amazing honour, says Sacha. Well, I'm glad you're amazingly honoured. When Doctor Who magazine catches up with him over Zoom in late summer. It's late summer now, right? But I'll be honest, it was scary as well, because I was really happy with The Timeless Child. Well, again, I think that's a strike against you, isn't it? You're happy with The Timeless Child. Maybe you're not in the core demographic of Doctor Who. Maybe. I don't know. With the reveal of the Master. Reveal on the plane. Which actually that wasn't... But like, what? Like, what is this? Like, what? How does this in any way seem like the Master? I mean, what? I mean, he's impersonating Tommy Cannon. Is it? No. Bobby Ball, right? Bobby a Cannonball, right? Rock on, Tommy! Oh, that's going to be on the thumbnail, right? I don't care if nobody gets a reference. That's going to be on the thumbnail. At some point, I'm going to put the shaken back lady on the thumbnail. Because, boy, I talked about her. I don't think it's been posted yet. I talked about it in a video recently. And I just think the shaken back lady was very, very, very hot, right? That's just me for you. And sometimes you think to yourself, maybe I shouldn't do anymore. Well, Sacha, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. I mean, like, I don't know. What would he have been like with decent direction? I'm not talking about direction from the director, but like direction from Chris Chibnall, right? What would he have been like if he wasn't told to be awful? I think he probably would have been quite good, no? I don't know. Plus, I mean, he's such a different character. Why call it the Master, right? I mean, John Simmers seemed like the Master, right? They all seem like the Master to me. I know people freaked out about Gallifrey and Deadly Assassination. That doesn't seem like Gallifrey to me. I don't know. Here's the thing. I always try and be fair, but you're always going to end up at a disadvantage when you try and be fair to people who are, generally speaking, not very fair. What are we up to? Fine. So, maybe I shouldn't do it anymore. Plus, you got the added pressure of it being a Centennial special, and you want to give Jodie Whittaker justice. Really. If you want to do Jodie Whittaker give justice, then you got to take a giant shit on it, like relentlessly. Like I think you've got to be a part of a some kind of gangbang bukkake crew that constantly is churning out fecal matter from their anuses, like deranged organic soft serve ice cream machines. And yeah, I did just think of that. That reminds me of a joke. That does remind me of a joke, which I'm going to tell you. Jodie Whittaker finally, after many years, passes away. I'm not wishing death on her, but death comes to everyone, right? And she goes to hell. She's like, "What? You thump? Why am I in hell? I just made children happy." And Satan goes, "No, not so much. Everybody hated you. But, because you're going, some people have, I'm going to give you a choice. You got choice of rooms 1, 2, or 3. A, B, or C you can go into. Can I look at them? I said, yes, you can. Right? So she goes into room A. And there's people there in excrement right up till their neck, right? The next one's bubbling. It's just like, I hope the next room is better, right? So she goes to the next room, and people are in bubbling excrement, right? Poo, if you don't know what excrement is, up to the waist. And she's like, well, that is a bit better, but still, let's see what's behind door number 3. So she goes into room C, and people are standing in excrement, but only up until their ankles, where the calf muscles, right? Only up until there. And she's like, well, that's clear. I'll take door number 3 then, Icky Thump, because I always wondered what it felt like. I bet she hasn't. So she goes in, starts doing her time there for the evil that she has done to Doctor Who. And then, half hour, an hour or so goes by. Satan walks in and says, okay, break's over. Everyone on their heads. It's funny because it's so just. Jodie Whittaker's sort of last episode. If you don't want to phone it in, dude, you could really handle phoning it in. I wonder if you're literally doing that with Big Finish. You want to make sure you can offer something different. Well, you certainly offer something different from the master. That's what, yeah. You got that one down, mate. When I had the initial conversation with writer and showrunner Chris Chibnall, he said, well, I don't really know what to do, actually. They hadn't really gone very well for me. Chris Chibnall said, if you were to come back, what would you like to do? Okay. Chris. This is make-believe. None of these people do what they do, right? You tell them what to do, right? Because it's not real. But okay, fine. And I was like, whoa, that's such a broad question. But one of the things I've always liked about the Master is he's a master of disguise. Okay. I love the ability he's able to play himself as different versions of himself without necessarily putting on prosthetics. Well, he did, though. Especially the 80s. I don't know. The easiest way to spot the Master in the 80s is to see if his name was spelled as an anagram of Anthony Ainley. Or his character's name was an anagram of the Master. They should have had a character called Anagram of the Master. My name's Anna. Anna who? Anagram. Let's say your full name now. Anagram of the Master. Something like that. As long as I love the ability of putting on prosthetics, so I said, as long as there's some range in there, and Chris certainly has delivered that. Yeah, no, it's shit. And then it's really shit. And then to stretch me a bit more, it's mind-meltingly awful shit, right? We cover all the bases with this, and then some. And in the past, we've seen the Master disguised as everything from a British secret agent, Spyfall, to a scarecrow in Mark of the Rani. That's insane, okay? The Master in Mark of the Rani is on ketamine, right? Special K. And then it all makes sense. He's like, all the way through, he's like, and his disguise as a scarecrow makes no sense and it has no context to it. If you watch it, okay, I really recently have. The Power of the Doctor sees him take on intergalactic cosplay to a whole new level. I didn't want people to think I've seen this incarnation of the Master now. Well, kind of a crap incarnation. I mean, people thought about Tom Baker all the time, right? Explain Sacha, I wanted to reinvent him slightly because there's so much more to explore there. So you'll see different aspects of him. We want people to be like, wait, what? What's going on? What the hell's going on? Well, I can almost guarantee you're going to hit that goal. Like, what, confuse people and irritate them? Yeah, that sounds likely. Reinvent him slightly. What's going on? I don't know if I'll ever do another job where I get to show so much range. I get to be shit and super shit. It's really been a blessing. Oh, okay, I'm glad it's worked out for you. I also wanted this to feel like not just an epic episode of Doctor Who, but an epic drama. Well, it probably won't feel like an epic drama. Okay. I wouldn't get excited for it feeling like an epic drama. It's written by Chris Chibnall. I mean, really, isn't that your big clue? It's not going to feel like an epic drama. Some situations are extreme with explosions and Daleks and Cybermen and all that, but in everything I do, I was always trying to find the truth in it. Again, have you seen Timeless Children? I'm not sure. I don't want to feel hammy in any way. What? You don't want it to feel hammy in any way? Dude, I almost couldn't watch it because I'm Jewish and the old unclean meat is not allowed to pass between my lips, baby. She cried. That hammy? Most hammy thing I think ever. It made the megabyte modem from Trial of the Time Lord seem calm and relaxed. Didn't want to seem hammy? Really? There's one pivotal draw-dropping moment in the episode. I bet there's more than one of them. And not draw-dropping for the way that you think. No spoilers, but you'll know it when you see it. That Sacha is particularly proud of. I want to do something epic and moving, and I watched it. Oh, so he turns and helps the Doctor then. Okay, so I'm glad we landed that because it's kind of takes your breath away a bit. Again, I don't think in a good way, mate. I don't think in a good way. In the trailer, see the Master telling the Doctor, "This is the day you die." God, if only. And this time, for the 13th Doctor at least, that's no idle threat. Yes. When the great Terence Dix first proposed the character of the Master to producer Barry Letts, he couldn't imagine this bullcrap, right? More than half a century ago, he famously told him the Moriarty is the Moriarty of the Doctor's home, so it's fitting that Sacha's Master, blah blah blah. Worked with Jodie years ago on ITV drama Wired, never heard of it, probably better than this. So we knew each other a little bit, but it was amazing the way Chris, Matt Stevens, and Nikki Wilson brought us all together for this. Yeah, they called my agent. And they said, if we give your client money, would he then come to a some kind of studio, right, and act out a play I've written, which we will then record, on cameras? And he said, yes, actually he will. And they did the same thing to Jodie Whittaker, and that's how they brought them together. It's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. There you go. Looks like he's using his tissue compression doodah again. I don't like the new designer either. Although it does look like Jodie's is close to orgasm in this picture for some reason. Oh, Ecky Thump! I always wondered what it'll feel like. Come back. Ecky Thump! I always wondered what it would feel like. I bet you did, Jodie. I bet you did. We didn't audition together or anything. Who knew? You didn't prepare? What a shock! You can't see that on screen. Apart from every freaking line of it. That's a risk because you don't know how chemistry is going to be. Well, so it's pretty much not such a risk because Jodie Whittaker has had some kind of procedure form, also by the woman who plays Galadriel from Lord of the Rings, to have a charisma completely bypassed. So that chemistry must have been tricky to come by. Okay, but never mind. I mean, she really is just a terrible actress. I feel bad for it a little bit, but not that bad. When we did the plane scene in Spyfall, no one had seen my version of the Master, but Chris and Matt are on an old tape I did, but it just came alive and the chemistry just happened. It really didn't. I reviewed it recently. It really, genuinely, properly didn't. Right? I remember landing in South Africa and going into makeup for the first time to play the Master's dickhead, blah, blah, blah. And was feeling really nervous. When I saw Jodie and Manda, I'm like, there's no way I can be as bad as these two losers. I'm quids in, mate. Cash the check already there. And they were just so friendly. Yeah, seemed to be very friendly with each other. At some point, they had sex. That's very, very friendly. You know, I remember Jodie looking across at me and going, "You're right, mate. Oh, you're right, Chuck." And I could feel their excitement that they were bringing the Master in. And the moment was like, "Oh, this is going to be all right. I'm going to be okay." It's not. You were shit. I'm sorry. Good actor, but your portrayal was absolutely shit in an episode that was, generally speaking, hated because it was shit. Okay, because it was written by a talentless hack, and I'm using those words lovingly. So it was really easy to be with Jodie. It was really easy with Jodie. Again, not really the strongest competition, is it? I do my thing as she does. I do my thing called acting, and she just jumps around like a clown. I would say, a not very talented clown. And it just works because they paid me, and it's done. And because even though the characters have so much animosity between them, me and Jodie really adore each other. Well, there you go. That's nice, isn't it? Which actually makes the scenes much more electrifying. Electrifying! What's that from? Grease. And actually they make the scenes much more, and a lot more moving than I thought they would be. Okay. So he said he watched the episode on his laptop in a dark room the other day, and it was just a blubbering mess. Well, come on, mate, it's a job. You don't feel so bad about it. Oh no, you say you like it. Ooh, that's gonna age badly. Just watch the effect Jodie has had. What the complete destruction of Doctor Who? Yeah, destruct, absolute. Right? She's been sensational. And it was the first female. She was the first female Doctor, an amazing moment in history, and incredibly. And being a part of that's been incredibly moving. I'm sorry, mate. You just been sold a whole bunch of bullcrap, right? It doesn't matter that she was a woman. It doesn't matter she was the first woman, even though she really wasn't. None of that really matters at all. It was just not very good. Just as the late Roger Delgado looms large in the folk memory of poetry, DBM Ventures, the history of, will surely recall Sacha Dhawan's Master as the defining antagonist of the Whittaker era. No one's going to remember the Whittaker era. It's over. We all hate it. Even people who pretend they like it, they hate it. It's not going to be remembered, right? It's not going to happen. You got to just kind of get yourself at peace with that. Where are we up to? It's amazing, says Sasha. It's not quite what I anticipated. What the group hatred of the awful of the awful stories you're in. I remember the first call asking for whether I'll be interested in playing the role, and I didn't know much about it. Still don't, by the looks of it. Obviously, I knew Doctor Who and was very attached to the show, even though I knew nothing about the Master. Not that attached then, right? I was attached to it in a point in history where there wasn't the Master, so I wasn't. Obviously, I knew did the Adventure Time with Mark Gatiss, and Stephen Moffat. I don't know if Stephen Moffat worked on that. Makes sense he would. But I didn't really know much about the Master. You still don't know how iconic he was. I remember Mark saying to me, "You're the first person to pronounce as Master." He laughs. Even that, he said that was your choice, right? You said that was an active choice you made because everybody else has been, "I'm the Master." That was from the behind the sofa stuff, as I recall. Even then, when I came into Spyfall was I was like, let me just get this right. I'll worry about the Master later. And it all snowballed after that. What? In Adventure Time and Space, he played Waris Hussein. How must the 83-year-old feel about Wonder's Doctor Who magazine? A little show that he made almost 6 years ago the centerpiece of the BBC celebrations. Well, it's the perfect thing to be the centerpiece of the BBC centenary celebrations because it represents what the BBC is. Hated shit, right? That's just what it is. Yeah, and it amazes me, all these lefty lovers, who I quite like, I don't think they're stupid. I don't think Matthew Sweet is stupid by any long shot. I think he's probably a clever person. None of the lefty lovers, though, can get through their heads that the BBC is worthless shit, right? And because they keep plugging and living to plug their insane ideology, which nobody really agrees with. I'm sorry. You're this what's the word? Condescending attitude that you need to educate the unwashed masses. No, you know what? You need to entertain the bloody masses, and to do that, you've got to shut up and listen. Good luck with that. I never expected Doctor Who Universe to be such a big part of my life. Meeting Warriors while doing Adventure in Time and Space. Bit of Tegan and Ace there. God, they're kind of both embarrassing. I'm going to be going over their interviews as well on separate videos this week. So lots going on. Oh, look, a bit of Rasputin Master. And hearing the story, being Indian and gay and so young and working with a producer, Verity Lambert, the obstacles they had to overcome. And then for me becoming the first British Asian to play the Master, having previously played Warriors. It was just incredible. So again, to me, he looks, on a racial level, the same as Roger Delgado to me. Like, a bit swarthy, right? He looks like an original series Klingon. Okay. So there's box out about Janet Fielding and Sophie Aldred. Who was an entire association with the Master. Fine, so they're talking about how the Master killed her aunt. I wonder if they talk about that, probably. Being directed by Magnus Stone also helps soothe Sacha's early jitters about returning. Jamie can direct nearly all my episodes, so we have a shorthand. We both grown, I think. I think he's grown as a director. He was actually pretty darn good. I have to tell you, he's a bit of a find. The actor being Doctor Who Universe, so I feel in safe hands. Who were? Okay. Where are we up to? Fine, what was Sue saying? I think that what some people don't realise about Doctor Who Universe is it's not just doing the show. It becoming part of a really big, important community. Yeah, you're doing Big Finish stuff, right? Who really have your back. That's for sure, right? 100, yes, they do have your back. I mean, even people who've done terrible stuff, do they have Jonah's back? I don't know. Out of embarrassment, I think. Out of just not wanting to admit they're wrong. Big community. So you've got people that help me. I've been quite open about my mental health and my anxiety. I have to tell you, I think everybody always has mental health issues and anxiety. We just kind of get on with it, right? Because it used to be, look, I have mental health issues. I have anxiety, like every other human being. To go around talking about it is a little bit of a pussy to me. Just not the kind of thing I would do. But I mean, unless you need to, right? Unless you actually have a mental health issue, which I guess after lockdown most of us do. Because before Doctor Who came along, I was in a bit of a weird place with my mental health. I just really wasn't talking to anyone about it. And then Doctor Who came along in this iconic role, and I felt a little bit like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't. Am I in the right frame of mind for doing it? You're the Master. Yeah, you are fine. Yeah, you being nearly bonkers is good. That's going to help you. But actually, it was a real gift to help me overcome some of the challenges in ways I never really anticipated. Yeah, look, okay. If you're feeling down, this is something I learned from Rabbi Zelig Pliskin. He's written a bunch of self-help books, and he's actually an okay guy. Right? I knew him personally. I've spoken to him in years. But he's got this really good thing that saying, if you're stuck in a rut, right, and you're sad and you can't get out of it, there's a solution with two problems. First problem is it works. The second problem is you feel really stupid doing it, right? And it works, okay? It totally 100% works. Let's say you're down, right? You just do this mantra. You go, I feel good, I feel great, I feel good, I feel great, and I feel stupid saying it. But the more, as you say it, you cheer up. It's really incredible. It actually. So yeah, playing a fun character, jumping up and down like the Master in Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who. Yeah, I can see that being good for you. I'm glad it helped you, right? Sadly, it did cause like much of fandom to over the edge into suicidal depression. Shall we say? No, they didn't. Fine, because the community advanced. So that's probably why he's doing the Big Finish stuff. So part of me, this is doing the centenary. It was important for me to deliver. I wanted to kind of thank you. I wanted to take them on a bit of a journey because I know how much they love to hate it. Okay, it just breaks my heart because he's put so much effort into this, right? For what? On top of the lifetime of memories Sacha has been left with, rather than a stylish keepsake of his... Does he have a stylish keepsake of Doctor Who? OMG! As a gift, I gave myself my original costume with the purple... Nope. There we go. With the purple... with purple jacket, right? Everything he was planning to keep it. Oh, I'm definitely selling it. He says, laughing. No, of course I'm keeping it. Well, I think it would have been worth a fortune. Who knows? We already established the Master isn't the type to let a small thing like being torn into a million shreds stand in the way of a good comeback. This sort of Rasputin look, it does kind of look like a riff on Matt Smith in, what was it, when they built him in, put him in that like weird black brick prison thing and he grew a beard. I got the action figure of that. Where is it? Right up there. Right up there. You can't see it. So regardless whether or not he's still standing at the end of the power of the Doctor, might we see Sacha again? Well, who knows, he smiles. I mean, I love returning showrunner Steve Davis so much, and I think I've got a chance to work with him. He's so gracious. I'll be intriguing to see what happened, right? I will be intrigued to see that. I don't know. So we are in touch, and I'm always messaging him in the hope one day he'll say, come back. I think if he hasn't mentioned it, mate, I think that's your answer right there. What's Sacha's message to incoming, his incoming mortal enemy, Shooty Gatwa? Oh, he'll know this already, but he's in the safest hands. You are. I mean, honestly, he's in the hands of Rusty Davis. I think it's going to be great. And in the hands of Phantom, which, once we get this evil, divisive nonsense over, oh, God, honestly, I think by the time the 60th anniversary airs, we're going to be living in another world. I think the bubble is going to burst on all this just divisive, nasty nonsense, right? I think anybody who was involved in it is going to be too embarrassed to say they were. Again, just a year from now. Oh man, I can't wait. I'm not sure what it's like to be the Doctor. Speaking of the Master, he's about to go on a journey he'll never forget. Trip of a lifetime, right? You can just predict what they're in for on the show. It goes beyond your wildest dreams. Yeah, listen, I hope it's going to be great. So is this really the end? He's had the time of his life. Yes, says Sacha. Why don't they mention Big Finish? Setting a wolfish grin. Worthy of myself. It's been all right, I suppose. I think they were. I think it was kind of off that he didn't talk about the Big Finish stuff he was doing. Right? I mean, that's really, his major demographic right now. I would be really intrigued to see how that stuff sells. Right? Look, I wish everybody all the success. Hope this episode's going to be good. It's going to be awful, isn't it? It's going to be... How do I know it's going to be awful? The same reason the sun rose today. It's like happened the same before, and before that, and before that. Every time the same, you can expect to be the same after. So yeah, I imagine the power of the Doctor will be something swiftly forgotten for all time. Much like Legend of the Sea Devils or Revolution of the Dalek. Yeah, who remembers that? No, nobody remembers any of this crap because it's completely not memorable, other than they dumped a bunch of money into it, and I don't think they much more than that. Probably get a lot more cameos. Who cares? Right, that's really where I am. Who the hell cares? My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.